The judge reads the charge. Gross indecency. You do not look up. What they did not say in that courtroom, that 2 years earlier you had shortened the Second World War. What they did not say, that the machine in your mind had saved an estimated 14 million lives. The sentence, chemical castration. Injections of estrogen to cure what they called a disease. You accepted. The alternative was prison, and in prison you could not work. You were born in London in 1912 to parents who spent most of your childhood in India. Your teacher said you were brilliant but impossible. You taught yourself calculus at 14. At school, you fell in love with a boy named Christopher Morcom. He died of tuberculosis at 18. Christopher's death gave you a question you never stopped trying to answer. Where does a mind go when the body stops? Cambridge, 1931. For the first time in your life, the room was large enough for your mind. In 1936, you solved a problem that had defeated every mathematician in Europe. You invented a theoretical machine that could compute anything that could be computed, on paper, before computers existed. Princeton offered you a position. You could have stayed in America. You chose to come home. September 1939. Germany invaded Poland, Britain declared war, and you reported to Bletchley Park the same day. Bletchley Park, a Victorian mansion in the English countryside, surrounded by wooden huts. The most secret address in Britain. The Germans believed Enigma was unbreakable. 159 million possible settings. And every day at midnight, they changed them all. Every day, hundreds of encrypted German messages passed through Bletchley. Every day you could not read them, men drowned. The Polish mathematicians had broken an earlier version. The British codebreakers had tried for months. Nothing worked. You designed a machine to break a machine. You called it the bomb. Everyone thought it would not work. The insight was simple in the way that only the deepest things are simple. Enigma could never encode a letter as itself. March 1940, the bomb ran for the first time. It worked. German naval messages, German army orders, German Luftwaffe schedules, all of it suddenly readable. There was one rule above all others. The Germans must never know Enigma had been broken. You could not use everything you knew. The Battle of the Atlantic, German U-boats were sinking 400,000 tons of Allied shipping every month. Bletchley changed that. Churchill sent you to Washington to brief the Americans. You went alone. Nobody was told why. The four-rotor naval Enigma nearly beat you. For 10 months in 1942, the Atlantic went dark again. You broke it again. December 1942. The Atlantic opened. The ships got through. June 6, 1944. D-Day. The Allied commanders knew exactly where the German defenses were. Because of you. May 8, 1945. Victory in Europe. You were 32 years old. You were forbidden to speak of Bletchley for the rest of your life. No honor, no acknowledgement, nothing. After the war, you went to Manchester. You wanted to build the actual machine, not theoretical, real. In 1950, you published a paper, and the question at the top of the first page was, can machines think? You proposed a test. If a machine could converse indistinguishably from a human, it was thinking. The world argued about it for 70 years. You also worked out why a leopard has spots, how patterns form in nature, how order emerges from chaos. You ran, every day, sometimes 40 miles at a stretch. You nearly made the 1948 Olympic team. January 1952, your house was burgled. You reported it to the police. In the course of the investigation, you mentioned a man named Arnold Murray. You did not understand the danger. Homosexuality was illegal in Britain, had been since 1885, would be until 1967. You were arrested. Gross indecency. The same charge that had destroyed Oscar Wilde 50 years before. You pleaded guilty. You saw no reason to deny what was true. That was not how your mind worked. Prison or chemical castration, you chose the injections. You said you wanted to continue your work. The estrogen injections began. Your body changed. Your mind did not. You kept working. Through the injections, through what they did to your body, you kept working. Your security clearance was revoked. The work you had done at Bletchley, the work that won the war, officially, you had never done it. In 1953, you traveled to Norway. You were followed by British intelligence. They believed you might defect. Wilmslow, Cheshire, your house, 1954. You were 41 years old. You had been reading about Snow White, and you were interested in the chemistry of the poisoned apple. You had a small laboratory in your house. You were experimenting with gold electroplating using potassium cyanide. June 7, 1954, your housekeeper found you. A half-eaten apple beside the bed, laced with cyanide. The coroner recorded a verdict of suicide. He was 41 years old. He had already done more than most minds do in a century. The work at Bletchley remained classified until 1974. For 20 years after his death, the world did not know what he had done. The computer age arrived. Every device that computes traces its theoretical foundation to a paper written by a man in 1936. In 2013, the British government issued a royal pardon, 59 years after his death. A pardon cannot give back 41 years. A pardon cannot unwrite the injections. A pardon cannot answer the question of what he might have done with another 40 years. He left the theoretical foundations of computer science. He left the proof that machines can compute anything computable. He left the question of whether they can think. The country he saved prosecuted him for what he was. That is also true at the same time, and it does not cancel out. He called his test the imitation game. A machine imitates a human. The judges cannot tell the difference. Is the machine thinking? There is another imitation game. A country imitates justice. The judges cannot tell. Is the country thinking? The apple was half-eaten. Nobody knows if it was intentional. He knew more about ambiguity than anyone.